Hello, dear students. Sam here. As you are aware of, because of COVID-19 and because of unavoidable situation, we are made to take online classes now. As usual, I'm taking financial management for you, even in this semester also. We are all have been observing daily the positive cases of COVID-19 are rising in order. Now we can say that there is somewhat medical emergency is there in the entire nation. Of course, both the center as well as state governments are doing their best to get rid of this difficult situation. Let us cooperate our authorities by following the timely guidelines issued by them. Be at home only. Only in the case of unavoidable circumstances, if you come out, please wear mask and maintain physical distance. Now, with this brief message, let us have a brief discussion over the prescribed syllabus of financial management for sixth semester. Now, let us have a discussion over the syllabus. Now, here for the sixth semester, uh, we are supposed to discuss 6 chapters. So, syllabus consists of 6 chapters, and the entire paper is for totally for 150 marks. Okay, so as usual, so out of 150, so 120 from the paper that you have to answer, and 30 marks for internal assessment. Okay, now let us have a glance over the different chapters. So first chapter is treasury management. Okay, this chapter is treasury management, first chapter, and so somewhat 50% theory and 50% problems may appear for the examinations. And here for 24 marks we can't say you may get the theory, most probably you may get theory, but usually there will be a question for 6 mark and for 12 mark from this chapter. Then second chapter is working capital management. Working capital management, and this chapter is also consists of problems as well as theory. Problems and theory are there. So here you can expect for all the 3 sections, questions for all the 3 sections, 6 marks, 12 mark, and 24 marks. And most probably you may get problems for 24 marks, and for 6 and 12 we can't say. You may get theory as well as problem also. It depends upon the question paper setter. Now, in the third chapter, we are going to discuss the cost of capital. Cost of capital, and here too, so theory as well as problem. Theory and problem. Now, from this chapter, you can expect the questions for 6 marks, 12 marks, and 24 marks. Then fourth chapter is dividend policy. Dividend policy. Now here too we can expect for all the three sections questions from this chapter, and this chapter is also consists of theory as well as problem. Theory and problems are there. And fifth chapter is mutual fund. Mutual funds. This chapter is completely theoretical concept, full of theory. So from this chapter, you can expect a 24 marks theory question, okay, from mutual funds. And of course, you can expect question for 12 as well as 6. But since this is the complete theory chapter, you can expect the theory from this chapter for the 24 marks. And then the last chapter is a financial statement analysis. And here from this chapter also you can expect questions for 6, 12 and for 24 marks. Detailed syllabus I'm going to put in the WhatsApp group, kindly observe. Okay, this is about the syllabus which was prescribed for you. And I forgot to mention, okay, so this is about the syllabus. uh, Definitely I'm going to put questions of the various previous year examinations in the group very soon. Kindly follow that, and remember, since university is about to start the next academic year, soon after the end of the semester, and if COVID-19 outbreak, if it is can't be controlled, in that situation, you may not get offline classes. So be alert and be regular to the online classes. And if there are any doubts regarding the classes or regarding to any concepts, you are free to consult at any time. Without making or without taking much time, let me start the first chapter. Now, the first chapter, as you know now, is treasury management. Treasury management. Okay. Now, let me start with the basic concepts. Now, you have to think, what is treasury? So, what do you mean by treasury? What is treasury? So, as the name indicates, treasure means you can call it as wealth. Okay, so it may be a wealth, maybe money or cash, or you can call it as uh, uh, valuables also. Okay, valuables. So now treasure means wealth, money, or cash, or valuables. Okay. Now, what is a treasury management? Now, here the literary term treasure is always linked with the government department, which is interested to receive money, making payments, investments, etc. So, literary sense, treasury means it's a department of government. So department of government which is concerned in all monetary dealings. Okay, concerned with the monetary dealings. So what are the type of monetary dealings it is concerned with? So there are numerous. So I'm going to mention only few. So with the help of these few, you are going to understand every aspect of the treasury management. Okay. Now here, so it is concerned with the receipt of money, as well as payment of money. Okay, receipt of money, payment of money, then investments. Okay, and other aspects. Okay, now here probably you may be having a government employee in your house, or maybe at your house. You may be having a government employee in your peer groups. Okay, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅವರ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಏನು ಅವ್ರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಿಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ. ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುವಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ HRMS ಥ್ರೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಯುವಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಂದಿ ಆಫೀಸಿನವರದ್ದು ಸ್ಯಾಲ್ರಿಯ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ, salary calculations of all the employees must be done in the that particular office only, and that must be forwarded to the treasury office. So in every taluk there will be a treasury department of government, and these government employee or these officers of government, other officers of government must submit their salary bill, employee salary bill to those particular treasury officers, and then ಟ್ರೆಜರಿ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನಂತರ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಟ್ರೆಜರಿ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಈ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸಿನ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ಬಂದು ಬೀಳ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಎ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, now after hearing this question, now you may be having a doubt with regarding to treasury management. So definitely now there is a question in your mind about the relevance of studying treasury management in the financial management. So that means, as I have already said, the literary meaning of treasury management is linked with the government office. Then you may be having a doubt, or you may be having a question in your mind. Like why we have to study treasury management in the financial management if it is having a relationship with the government. Since I have already said, ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಟ್ರೆಜರಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಲಿಟ್ರರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ we take on to mean that it's a department of government. Treasury, it's a department of government. So when I said like that, ಸೊ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ನಾವು ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ I have an answer for that. Yes, of course, treasury management in the literary sense it is a government office, but um, because of number of transactions so that are involved in business, okay, so there will be numerous number of transactions, so lot of transactions involved in. So you can take example of business of you take example of Tata, okay, multi MNCs companies, okay, Tata, Reliance, and other MNCs. You take an example of that multinational companies. You take an example of LG for that matter, okay. So LG is having 52 subsidiary companies. So somewhat, uh, as per best of my knowledge, so somewhat 52 subsidiary companies. It is one of the largest MNC. Okay, so you can take an example of even for that matter banks. Okay, banks. The main objective of bank is to lend money and accept a deposit, and whenever they are going to lend through their branches, collectively, if we count that money that has been lent by the banks, so that results in some 1,000 crores, okay. And even the acceptance of deposit, if we make a count of that, definitely it will result in a thousands of crores. Now you take example of any other industries, okay, industries. So definitely there will be numerous number of transactions. So those transactions will result in a lot of money, maybe payment side or maybe receipt side. And because of these numerous numbers of transactions, even in the corporate field, even in the corporate field, the cash department, so which is usually concerned with acceptance of money and payment of money. So maybe that also includes investment in other sources, okay. So collectively we call cash department as treasury, okay. So even in the corporate field or even in the business world, the cash department will also be called as a treasury, and the management of cash is now called as treasury management, okay, in the corporate field. You just take example of Reliance, Tata, as I have mentioned earlier. The amount of investment, the profit earned, the dividend paid, everything will be in some 1,000 crores. So not in lakhs or not in some rupees. So it is in 1,000 crores. To manage this some 1,000 crores, there must be a existence of proper management, or there must be existence of proper system, and that proper system is nothing but treasury management. So that is called as a treasury management, and the management of treasure, so that is nothing but wealth, cash, or any valuables, is essential not only for the corporates, okay, not only for the government, not only for the government, not only for the corporates, even for the individuals also. So Mr. Radhakrishna Pillai, in his book Chanakya and the Art of Getting Rich, okay, Mr. Radhakrishna Pillai, you can read this book. Very beautiful book on so he's a business author, okay. So very beautiful book. He has taken idea of a Chanakya, and the book title is Art of Getting Rich, which is based on Chanakya's writing. Okay, the book title is Chanakya and the Art of Getting Rich. Okay, this book is available in Flipkart, Amazon. Okay, it is available, and it may hardly cost somewhat 150 to 250 rupees. So since you are having sufficient number of sufficient amount of time now, okay, and even the present government guidelines facilitates for the delivery through Flipkart and Amazon, so you can borrow this book and you can read whenever you are free at your home. Okay, so very good book. In his book he states that ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸಂಪತ್ತನ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. So there are 4 stages in management of wealth. So usually, so he identifies the 4 stages of managing the wealth. uh, the first stage is wealth identification. Wealth identification. Okay, now how to identify wealth? So wealth identification can be made with the help of maybe, so wealth identification maybe through an idea. Okay, so ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಸೊ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Startups. Okay, so you take example of Oyo, you take example of Flipkart. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. You take example of Bounce. Okay, so ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಅಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು. So it's an idea. Okay, idea generation of an idea. Okay, so there are various other things, maybe idea generation, it is there. Okay, maybe establishing a business, maybe investment. Okay, investment in some maybe land or maybe something like that. So wealth identification. So here you are going to identify a area through which you can get success, or through which you can get, or you can mobilize, or you can create wealth. Okay, then the second stage is wealth creation. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಯಾವ ಥ್ರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಏನು ಯಾವ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ವೆಲ್ತ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು start a new business like a startups, in that situation practically in the second step, practically you are going to implement your idea into practice. Now here of course you are going to earn some revenue. Okay, revenue in the sense of profit will be there. And in the third step it is called as wealth management. Wealth management. So wealth management is very essential for everyone. Now you just imagine ಈಗ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, COVID-19 ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, COVID-19 ಇದೆ, ಈಗ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 15 days ಇದು ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾನೀಗ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಫರ್ದರ್ 15 days ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಗೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೂಡ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಸೊ question mark. Okay, until when? So that will be the question mark. Lockdown, we are talking about lockdown here. Okay, now let us assume, suppose if you are not, if you are an employee, let us assume that you are a private company employee. Okay, you are a private company employee, and you are a jovial person, so you want to enjoy everything, and you are not left out of, with any savings on the day of imposing lockdown. Let us imagine, let us assume, and now government suddenly uh, announces lockdown, and because of this you may be thrown out of your existing job, present job, because you are in such a field where because of lockdown you may not get employment. Okay, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮೊದಲೇ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಡೈಲಿ ಏನು ಅರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಗಮ್ಮತ್ತು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ? ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಟ್ರಬಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ಯು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ wealth management or money management. So now in this juncture I want to remember so the two quotes given by the Warren Buffett. So first one is never depend upon a single source of income. So you should always what you know diversify your investment, and you should also try to earn from the second source of income. So if you are depending upon only one source of income, one or other day definitely you will be in a trouble. And the second situation is or second thought is never put all your eggs in a single basket. That means suppose if you are saving rupees 100, or maybe let us consider 10,000 per month you are saving. Okay, and suppose for a year, so this amounts to rupees 1,20,000, and if you keep this entire money in bank FD at present rate, it will attract at the rate of 5%. Let us assume 5%. Okay, so at the rate of 5%, hardly you may get somewhat 6,000 rupees. 6,000 or 5,600, something like that. Okay, but instead of keeping the entire amount in FD, suppose if you have done uh, portfolio investment, say for example 20,000 in FD, okay, or maybe 40,000 in FD, 40,000 in shares, and 40,000 in debt bonds. Let us assume debt bonds. Okay, so 1,20,000 divided in 3 avenues. In that situation, for 40,000 FD, you are going to get a 5% rate of interest per annum. So in this case, 2,000. So this return is fixed. Okay, so sorry, 2,000. So this is fixed and it is risk free. And the amount invested in shares, of course it is riskier, in the sense, in order to get a return, sometimes you may have to wait for an year, sometimes you may have to wait for 2 years, sometimes you might have to wait for 3 or 4 years in order to get decent returns. Let us have let us have assumption that you are expecting somewhat 12% return. Okay, bank FD is 5%, but 12% return. And successfully, let us assume that you are going to achieve that uh, return in 1 year. Okay, 40,000 into 12%. So 12% is minimum. because usually uh, the share market is the market where you can expect more than 15%, 20%, 30%. Sometimes you can get 100% returns also. That means if you have invested 40,000 in a right shares, in that situation, within a year you can expect 100% return. 40,000 will be doubled in 1 year. Okay, so if you have selected a right course of action, or if you are invested through or upon the right shares. Okay, and let us assume it is results in 12% return. In that situation, so somewhat you are going to get 4,800 rupees. Okay, and again, uh, debt bonds. So usually debt bonds give a fixed rate of return. Usually, let us assume that 6%. Okay, 6% is the return, and here you are going to get 2,400 rupees. Now, just imagine the power of diversification. Now, 1,20,000 in FD resulted in rupees somewhat 5,600 to 6,000 rupees. Okay, and when we made a diversified investment, that resulted into let us have a calculation here. Okay, here we'll have a calculation. 2,000 from FD, 4,800 from shares, and 2,400 from the bonds. So total amount will be 9,200. Now through diversification, we have we have earned somewhat 3,200 to uh, 3,600. Okay, 3,600 rupees profit, or what you know, the difference between the investment in the fixed source of income and the diversified investment. So this is about what wealth management is. So even if you are a student, so ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ you have to follow some principles or some aspects in your day to day life. So you have to save, you have to investment, you have to do investment in certain avenues. Now only you have to start learn of making money. You have to start learning making money. So in at this point, really, I want to mention the name of Movin and his team. So they are in, even though they are student, even though they are studying here, still they used to they are earning, maybe through DJ, maybe through Shamiana and all. Okay, so this is what you have to uh, uh, you have to ನೀವೇನು ಈ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನು ಹಣ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕಲ್ತ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ 10 years or maybe 15 years, definitely you'll end up with, so maybe after your 60s, definitely you'll end up with a lot of wealth. Okay, then the fourth stage is wealth distribution. Wealth distribution. Now here you might have heard donations given by Tata. Okay, donations given by Ambani's. Okay, through trust. Okay, Ambani, maybe Jindal, or maybe Adani. So you might have heard. So they are not simply giving away their wealth. Okay, so there is a purpose. So there is a reason. So whatever you give to the people, or whatever you are giving to the needy, so definitely you are going to receive in double of what you have given away. Okay, so it's the law of nature. So usually that goes like this only. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿರೋ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಅದರ 2 ಪಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇ, ದಟ್ builds a reputation, that projects some goodwill, or that so that will be a capital for your firm, or maybe that will be a capital that may turn into a capital for yourself. Okay, goodwill ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲಾರಿಟಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿ, ಈಗ ಟಾಟಾದವರು ಕೇರಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. So that has created a good reputation. Okay, and that has resembled in shares of the Tata company shares, share values of the Tata companies. So this is about it. So wealth distribution. So these are all the four key aspects everyone must practice in their day-to-day life. Yes, I have deviated myself from treasury to personal wealth management, but indeed it is needed to make you understand that the treasury management, even for the individuals, also important. I might have placed um, other real life examples, but we'll discuss those in the offline classes if time permits. Now you may be having one thing in your mind. We came to know about the meaning of treasury management, but in proper treasury management, how will it end up? That means by adopting treasury management, what kind of results it will give to us, or what kind of fruit that will bear to us. Or you may be having a question like why treasury management must be followed. So what happens if not followed? Or uh, or in short, what are the objectives of treasury management? So these are all the questions you might be having in your mind. Now let us have a discussion, or let us briefly just glance over the objectives of treasury management. Objectives of treasury management. Now, first one is the first main or key objective is it makes sure availability funds in right quantity. Availability of funds in a right quantity. That means through the application of proper treasury management, or if the proper treasury management is existed in the firm, that makes sure that the funds are, or the needed funds are available at the right time and at the right quantity. Okay, the second thing is, yes, of course, as I have mentioned, availability of funds at right time. Okay, funds at right time. And the third thing, it look after the deployment or employment of funds in right time. And the fourth or last concept or last thing that is concerned with the is availability, sorry, profitability from the availability or employment of funds. So that means the objective of treasury management is can be, or it is evident from these 4 points. First one, it look after the availability of funds. So it makes available funds at right time. It employs fund in right time, and it will measures the profitability of the employed funds. So this is about the objectives of treasury management. I think for today's session it is sufficient. We'll discuss the next concept, that is the functions of treasury management, in the next class. Thank you.